And he goes, wow, I eat gluten and I get mad.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And the primary system, the most common system of the body that's affected is your brain. And some people get brain fog and they don't know why. Oh, why do I have brain fog today? I don't know. I can't figure it out. Some people get depression. Some people get anxiety. Some people get anger. Some people get schizophrenia. Just go to PubMed and type in schizophrenia and gluten, and you see the studies that many schizophrenics, when they go on a wheat-free diet, they get stable. And the scientists are startled that a year after starting on a gluten-free diet, they're still off their medications, being monitored by their psychiatrist, but they're off their medications because they're doing fine.
Hey, it's JJ, and welcome to Ask the Health Expert. But this isn't just any old Ask the Health Expert session. This is your bonus session. Yes, it's the weekend, and because it's the weekend, we are going to take some time with an amazing expert. So be on the lookout for these Saturday Ask the Health Expert bonus sessions where we're going to go deep into an amazing subject with an incredible expert to give you actionable items that you can put into your life. Hey, it's JJ, and welcome to the podcast. I have back a multiple-time guest and longtime friend with me today to dive into a subject that is so near and dear to my heart. Today we'll be talking about your brain, and specifically how to save your brain in an hour a week. Now, you might be surprised to know that my guest today is Dr. Tom O'Brien, because you know him as the Gluten Doc. He is founder of thedoctor.com, and he has trained thousands of practitioners on how to help get people off of gluten through his certified gluten practitioner training. He also wrote the Autoimmune Fix, and as the host, made it his life's work, really a whole year out of his life. All over the country, he went to tape and create the docuseries Betrayal, which really shone the light on autoimmune and what we can do about it, which is the biggest umbrella disease taking us down today. So he's going to explain how he's now gotten into the brain. And more importantly, he's going to share some things that you can do in a little bit of time that will make a big, big difference. So he's got a great handout for you today. And we have also got some other things that come up during the show. I'm putting them all at jjvirgin.com/Dr. Tom's Pantry. So you will definitely want to go there at DRTOMS Pantry. And now, before we dive in with Tom, here's a word about one of my favorites. All righty. Welcome back, Dr. Tom O'Brien. Super excited to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks, JJ. It's always a blast when we're together, whether it's in person on the dance floor or over the internet.
I know. I love having you over to cook, too. So,
yes.
I am really excited about this new book. Now, everybody who knows you knows you're like the gluten doc and you're all about autoimmune. And now all of a sudden you're writing this book, You Can Fix Your Brain, an hour a week to the best. Now, let me know if I have this right, to the best memory, sleep, and productivity, or something like that,
memory,
right?
productivity, and sleep that you've ever had. Yes.
There you go. Well, we all want that. But what the heck? Like, where are you going with this? Like, what's...
Really good question. We know that wheat is a primary initiator of inflammatory mechanisms in the body. Almost everyone now knows that every degenerative disease is a disease of inflammation. At the cellular level, you're always on fire. The question is it a brain cell or a kidney cell? Is it gasoline or kerosene? But it's always inflammation. And most of us have heard something about wheat and gluten, that it's a problem for many people. It turns out, and Harvard's publishes studies on this. I've got 5 studies on this. Everyone gets intestinal permeability, the leaky gut, every time they're exposed to wheat. Every time.
Okay, I want to just scream that one out because I know that you and I have taken a lot of hits for this. I actually had some, I got tweeted at by an RD saying, you are dangerous for telling people they shouldn't eat gluten. They're going to get nutrient deficiencies. I'm like, no, they're going to get nutrient deficiencies from eating gluten. So say that again. What does gluten do to everyone? Everyone.
No human has the digestive enzymes to break wheat down completely into amino acids. The best we can do is break it down into clumps of proteins, clumps of peptides. And these clumps of peptides are inflammatory to every human. Now, Mrs. Patient, we have an entire new body every 7 years. Every cell in your body regenerates. Some cells are really quick, like the inside lining of your guts every 3 to 5 days. So you eat wheat for breakfast, you tear the lining, it heals. You eat a sandwich for lunch, you tear the lining, it heals. So you don't have any symptoms from eating wheat until one day you cross an imaginary line, you don't heal anymore. The scientists call it loss of oral tolerance. When you lose tolerance, the minor irritation of the leaky gut that you get from eating wheat becomes a major initiator of the autoimmune cascade. It turns out that when you don't heal from the intestinal permeability from eating wheat, which everyone does, everyone heals until they don't anymore, and it's because of overwhelm. When you don't heal anymore, now that's the gateway into the development of autoimmune diseases. That's why wheat is such a problem, and that's why it shows up in so many different symptoms outside the gut. The ratio is 8-1. For every one person with a wheat sensitivity that has gut problems, there are 8 that have problems somewhere else and don't have gut problems. It's 8-1.
Wow. And people don't connect the dots because they go, well, my Achilles tendonitis couldn't possibly have to do with the pizza I ate. My son Bryce would eat he used to eat a lot of cheese pizza, and despite what I would tell him, and I'd say, every time you eat a pizza, you get a migraine. Oh, Mom. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
I'm watching it. And my other son, Grant, who we took totally off of gluten, early on, but he came back and he started out of the hospital, started eating gluten. I'm like, honey, no gluten. And he goes, wow, I eat gluten and I get mad.
Yes, exactly. And the primary system, the most common system of the body that's affected is your brain. And some people get brain fog and they don't know why. Oh, why do I have brain fog today? I don't know. I can't figure it out. Some people get depression. Some people get anxiety. Some people get anger. Some people get schizophrenia. Just go to PubMed and type in schizophrenia and gluten, and you see the studies that many schizophrenics, when they go on a wheat-free diet, they get stable. And the scientists are startled that a year after starting on a gluten-free diet, they're still off their medications, being monitored by their psychiatrist, but they're off their medications because they're doing fine. So for some people, not every schizophrenic, but for some people, and the percentages seems to be about 8% in some of the studies, for those people, wheat is the inflammatory trigger that sets it off. So back to why did I write this book? It's because this mechanism of inflammation triggering an autoimmune response can manifest anywhere in your body. And we're dialing down on the brain. And the main reason is because I'm trying to get people just to be interested enough to listen or to read the book or listen to the audio. I just finished the audio last week in Berkeley. It was really, oh man, that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Literally, it took me 4 days, but 8 hours to 9 hours a day, every day, every word of every sentence. I have to be conscious. I can't be thinking about anything else.
Isn't that crazy? Did you have to say legume? Because legume is not legume, it's legume.
They stopped me on a lot of words, and I said, well, I didn't know it was spelled, or it was pronounced like that. But they were great. I was surprised that the people in the recording booth, I mean, they're so on top of it, they caught every word. And so, because I thought, oh, maybe I should have said that differently. And then, boom, they would say, let's pause, let's do that one again. So that kept happening.
I know. It's just brutal.
So my goal is that I can stimulate the interest to just get the big picture. Practically every degenerative disease has similar mechanisms that are setting it off. And if you understand what the mechanisms are, then you'll understand why for your father it might manifest as diabetes. For your mother, it might manifest as cognitive decline, early Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. For your son, it might be attention deficit. For you, it might be a hypothyroid. But when you understand the mechanisms behind this, the big picture overview, that as you apply some of these principles, most people get better from whatever they're suffering from.
So you write the book, and who's the book for?
The book is for people who want to be well and stop chasing their tail. You know, that we have a symptom, we chase our tail. Well, I'll take this medication. Or if we're going the natural approach, well, I'll take this high dose of coenzyme Q10. And then as long as you take the CoQ10, you're better. When you stop, it comes back again. There's something that you've missed. And so if you want to stop chasing the tail and really have vibrant health, vibrant dynamic health, and have your brain just the lights turned up bright, you know, the dimmer switch up really bright, that's who this book is for.
So what would be some signs that your brain's not where it should be?
If you say, where did I put those keys?
Come on, every woman's walking. Yeah, it's like you walk back to the other room, you go, why am I in this room?
Yeah, right. And then you trace your steps back. Yeah, that's brain fog. Brain fog can happen because of 13 different mechanisms. The most common one is a lack of blood flow in the brain called hypoperfusion. And if you don't have enough blood flow, those brain cells can't work properly. And so you get short-term memory loss. You get brain fog. You can't quite focus. It takes a minute to say, okay, wait a minute now. Or, you know, you're driving your car and everything's fine and the light turns yellow and you think, well, should I stop? Should I go? Should I stop? Should I go? And you're like hesitant or slow in response time when you know that, well, gosh, I should have just accelerated sooner, you know, or I should have put the brake on a little sooner. And you realize that your response time is slow. You walk into a room and you forget why you walked in the room. You say, where are those keys? You see a friend that you haven't seen in a while, you can't remember their name. I mean, those kind of things. You know, everybody knows someone that had a heart attack and they survived, they changed their diet, started exercising, and they're doing fabulous. Most of us know someone who diagnosed with cancer and they went through the therapies, whether it was a conventional therapy or the alternative therapies, and they're doing good. No one knows anyone diagnosed with a brain deterioration disease who's doing good.
Do you think it's just because we didn't think we could do anything about it? I mean, why is that? I know in the hospital, that's what I was told with Graham. I was told that, it's just time. I go, time? I'm pretty sure there's more to do than time. And I'm pretty sure the Ensure and the Crystal Light, you want me to have him drink and not, like, they literally are like, well, what will he drink? I go, not Crystal Light. He could drink water, you know, and he's not going to eat those pancakes. Nope, that's not happening either. So,
right.
So beyond the gluten, because I'm pretty sure that gluten's probably one of the things you're telling people not to do in the book. I just am going to make a guess.
Correct.
But beyond that, give us, and just for everybody listening, super cool. You're always so generous. I know you have a great handout for everybody that's going to give them kind of what's in your pantry, what should be there so that they can get started. Because everyone on my show really, they all eat. I know it's crazy. So
yes.
You know, but we're also big foodies. So we're always looking for the new information. But beyond just the gluten piece, what else? What are some other things that you recommend?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, for the first time in the history of the human species, there's a fourth pillar that triggers health problems. We've always known about the structure. That's the home of chiropractic and massage and car seats and pillows and all of that. And we know sometimes that makes a world of difference for somebody. We all know about the biochemistry. That's what we eat and drink and the air we breathe. The most common form of Alzheimer's, 60 to 65% of Alzheimer's cases are inhalation Alzheimer's. It's what we're breathing that triggers it. It gets in through the lungs, into the bloodstream, straight up to the brain, causing the inflammation that eventually manifests with all the scar tissue called beta amyloid plaque, and you get Alzheimer's. And we all know about the spiritual or the emotional side. I mean, those three sides we've known about for a long time that can cause any disease. For the first time in the history of the human species, there's a fourth component now that's just as powerful, and there are hundreds and hundreds of studies on it. It's electromagnetics. It's the cell phone holding a battery next to your brain, or your Bluetooth hanging on your ear.
That Bluetooth on the ear freaks me out.
Exactly.
Like, I just can't believe that anyone would stick that into their, like, that's just insanity.
You know, we have a really good friend whose name I won't announce to the world here. Big, tall guy, and he's been at all of our events, and he's got He's got a problem right now with his blood chemistry, and he's taking all the nutrition and the best nutrition in the world, and it's not working. Well, he's got one of those things around his neck all the time, the Bluetooth things that, that wrap around the neck, and he's got it around his neck whenever he's awake.
Are you kidding? Did we tell him?
I've not told him yet. I'm supposed to talk to him tomorrow. So I'm in Switzerland, and he just asked for my help. So I will give him my help. But I'm a Sherlock Holmes, and I love being a Sherlock Holmes. I love helping people figure out why they have what they have, and then they're empowered to do something about it. So this whole book is about the why of your brain deteriorating, and it can be mechanical, it can be biochemical, it can be electromagnetic, and it can be spiritual or emotional.
Well, let's go through that, though. Here's my big concern on when you bring up the cell phone stuff. Is this is just like a freight train speeding down a track. I mean, we're not going to give up our cell phones. So what the heck do you do? Because I know you're doing more than just the why in the book. You're giving people now here's what you do. So a couple tips there that don't freak everybody out.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, you bet. Here's a couple of good ones. First, use a corded headset. It's a bit of an inconvenience, but use a corded headset. Second, I drive an Acura, and as I walk up to my car, the key sends a message to the car, so the lights by the door handle go on, shining down on the ground, and the dome lights inside go on as I walk up to the car.
I got one after we talked the other day.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get a different one, but the same concept. Pongs work because whenever I walk up to the car, if I've got my phone in my hand with my keys, the keys don't work to turn the lights on the car. And if I grab the door handle, it doesn't unlock. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. And I have to take the phone out of my hand so that the keys are in my other hand, and then I can open the car door because the Pong blocks the message being sent from the keys to the car. So you get a Pong case or an equivalent type, but you get a case. It's just this little baby step thing that, never has there been a study that shows in one day the use of a cell phone gives you brain tumors. Never. There is no such thing as that. But it's the constant little assaults that we're exposed to day in, day out, every day. And the more that you can reduce some of the little assaults, I'll give you another one from the biochemistry part of this, and that is plastic wrap. You put you wrap plastic wrap around your leftover chicken and put it in the refrigerator. The next day you eat the chicken, it's really good, but you now have the phthalates, the toxic chemicals in the plastic wrap that have gotten into the food.
Well, what about the person that then takes that and sticks that in the microwave with the plastic wrap on it?
Morticians are using less formaldehyde than ever before in history because we stay preserved a lot longer. Our bodies stay preserved. We're so full of preservatives and chemicals. And I'm not exaggerating. That's kind of a horrid thing to say, but it's true.
You have the wackiest facts, Tom. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, okay.
30% less. And, that's kind of a weird statistic, but it just means all this toxic stuff is in us. And if you want to address the inflammation in your body, a very common source of inflammation is called the endotoxin, what's already inside of you, being produced by, like if you've got mercury fillings, that easily can be a contributor to many autoimmune diseases because every time you chew, a little bit of mercury leaches out of the fillings. And it gets into your food, you swallow it, it gets into your bloodstream, and it goes to your brain or it goes to other tissues. So mercury may be the problem. Your fillings may be the problem. There are many, many things to look at, and it's so overwhelming. One of the things I say in the book, and in the very beginning, and to really encourage people to do this, and that is be kind to yourself. If it takes you 6 months to really get this down, if you allocate 1 hour a week to this, 1 hour a week, I'm going to learn a little more about how to not have so many toxins in my world or how to get rid of a few more toxins. Just 1 hour a week. In 6 months, you've got this down. You've got it down. And you now are living a lifestyle that minimizes the inflammation on the gasoline that will manifest somewhere down the road as the disease that you're prone to. So you're just reducing the gasoline. But at 1 hour a week, that's all it takes because it's so overwhelming if you try to do it all at once.
Right. Well, you just won't. And I think this is the key thing. Everyone wants the fast fix. And the nice thing is, just doing something like pulling out gluten is a fast fix. It will take time to heal, but it's a fast fix. But if you look at these things, we don't make 10 changes at once. We make one change at a time and really lock it in. And so I love this whole philosophy that you put into place, because you do this and all of a sudden 3 months later, 6 months later, it's insane the changes that have happened. But yet we try to do that all in a day and nothing happens.
Exactly. You'll look back 6 months from now and you'll say, oh God, I used to do that all the time. Oh, I don't do that anymore. No, I don't want to do that, because you realize you feel so much better now. And if you fall back to one of the old habits, you eat something like, Krispy Kreme or something, you just feel like crap. And you never did before. You say, oh my gosh, I'm so much weaker now. No, you're so much cleaner and purer, and you've just polluted yourself. And that's true with the electromagnetics. If you get a headache again, if that's the weak link in your chain, when your chain gets pulled too hard. So when you're around too much wireless, you might get a headache again. But as you reduce the toxicity, your resistance is stronger and stronger. You don't get the headaches when you're in somebody's condo and there's 15 different wirelesses on your phone that you could connect to. All of those are bombarding you, all of them. So we need to build up our resilience and build up our resistance. And the way you do that is by base hits, one step at a time.
That is a great line, my friend. All right. So let's talk about this cool pantry list that you've got for everybody. What's in it?
Yeah. We put this thing together so that you guys, because you open your pantry and you have no idea what's supposed to be in there and what's not, and so we give you a list of the herbs and the spices and which ones are the anti-inflammatory spices. Like, many people don't know that oregano is an anti-inflammatory spice, or parsley and tarragon, cloves and basil, and of course turmeric. And nuts and seeds, which ones to have. This is a recipe that I give to everybody. Mrs. Patient, order a pound of all of the different nuts, or organic, of course, almonds, black walnuts, Brazil nuts, cashews, macadamia, pecans, and then get some seeds like pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds. Mix them all together in a big Ziploc bag and keep them in the freezer. And just take a bowl and scoop out a bowl and put them on the counter. And every day, have one handful of this mix. There are so many studies showing how it enhances brain function, reduces inflammation, increases cardiovascular function. So we give you the recipe, and in terms of proteins, what proteins do you want in your pantry? And most people know about eggs and beef and chicken, but there's anchovies and mackerel and canned tuna. There's only one canned tuna that's safe to eat, as far as I know. There's only one, and it comes from our friend Randy Hartnell at Vital Choice.
I know. And last time I tried to get it, you'd bought it all. Now I have a stash. I was like, thanks a lot for that. Yeah, that Ventresca. Oh my gosh, it's amazing stuff. We'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, and here's a key about that canned tuna. It's called Ventresca. Here's a key. One can of that tuna that is extremely low in mercury. They can't say no mercury because there will be some micrograms in there or something, but extremely low. One can has 7,000 milligrams of fish oils, EPA, DHA. 7,000 milligrams. That's enough brain food for your child for the entire week from one can of this tuna fish. You're giving your kid the most important brain food they need. And so those kind of points are in the handout, and what beverages are safe and what fermented foods to keep in your refrigerator, what dark colored fruits, all that kind of stuff is in there. It's a great little summary guide to make it easy, to get started, how to stock your pantry.
Well, that's what we want. I mean, changing your food can make such a massive shift. And that's really the great starting point. So I want to let everybody know you can get this. We'll put all this cool stuff in the show notes, and you can get that all at jjvirgin.com/Dr. Tom's Pantry. Let's do it as DRTOMS Pantry, Dr. Tom's Pantry. That'll be easy for everyone to remember. And it's so great having you on the show. and hanging out with you. And I miss you when you're not here.
It's just it's such a blessing to do these short little things, because people will, they're interested in short little things, and because I could go on for an hour or two, but
well, we've proven that.
Yes, right.
But they stay engaged because you've got such great information. But it's you always have the best information. You really want to be following everything Dr. Tom O'Brien does. You are one of my go-to resources, and that is a short list on one hand of people when I need anything out there. I know that you always have the answers. You're always on the cutting edge. And the more important thing is that you share it, and you share it in easy ways that people can take action on. And that's how you make a difference out there. It's making it simple. So appreciate you, my friend.
Well, thanks, JJ. That's the goal. That's always the goal. Thank you.
All righty. Yes. There was your deep dive bonus episode of Ask the Health Expert. We will be dropping these bonus episodes as amazing experts and incredible titles come to us. You don't want to miss out on this, do ya? Stay in the know. Be the first to know. Go to subscribe to jj.com and I'll hook you up.